I would so I'd invite you to get comfortable and have both feet on the ground if that's an okay position for you. Seated in a balanced way with your spine long and your shoulders kind of rolled and dropped back. And then if it's okay with you, you might want to just close your eyes if that feels uncomfortable. An alternative is just to find a place on the floor a few feet in front of you to let your gaze just rest. The whole idea behind closing the eyes or narrowing and softening the gaze is just to have less things pulling your attention by signaling you through the eyes. So we can begin to gather our own attention by just pausing, by carving out a few moments for ourselves here. Moving from whatever busyness, whatever state or activities have already presented themselves today, and gathering up the attention to be right here, right now in this moment. Sometimes we have to get the attention of a puppy or a child or our partner. What we're doing now is just getting our own attention. Pausing and allowing ourselves a little space. And that pausing just allows us to notice what's happening internally for ourselves. So, for example, you might feel your feet resting in their socks or their shoes, or maybe even barefoot, but settled against something, the carpet, the floor, whatever it is. And you might just press slightly into your big toes and notice how that changes the sensations. Relaxing the feet again if you like. And just sensing into where your weight naturally falls at your feet. Is it more toward the toes or the heels? More toward the inside or the outside? And maybe even sensing the texture of whatever is against your feet. Maybe sensing the connection we have to the ground, the earth, supporting us from below. And if you wish, you might bring your attention on up the long bones of the legs, through the bend of the knees, the long bones of the upper legs. And just take a moment to feel into the sit bones. Just sensing the support of your hips, your upper legs, your buttocks, held by the chair or whatever you're seated on. And if you wish, you might bring your attention on up the spine, just feeling how the vertebrae stack on each other, allowing the spine to be long, dignified, as one of my teachers says. And feeling all the way up to the skull, protecting the precious brain. And imagine a string from the top of your head, near the crown of your head, just kind of gently lifting you toward the heavens. So you can feel that energy from the earth to the heavens, and from the heavens through you to the earth. And as you settle, you might begin to notice other sensations in the body. Maybe you sense your heartbeat. Maybe you feel the brilliance of the heart, knowing how to continue. Or maybe you sense the brilliance of the breath, the air moving into the body, expanding, nourishing, giving oxygen to the blood. And maybe you feel the breath leaving the body then, when the exhale occurs. And you don't have to do anything in particular. You're not trying to make anything happen. You're just watching, just noticing the brilliance of the body here, receiving the breath and releasing the breath when it's time. Or maybe you notice thoughts that come and go. Whatever they are is fine. And you might just invite yourself to crawl up on the bank of a river in your mind and watch the thoughts like leaves in the river. They come and they pass you and they go. And you can stay present right here, noticing how the mind produces thoughts, and you can watch them and allow them to pass if you choose. Or maybe you choose to explore a little deeper. Maybe there are emotions present. Also fine if there are, and fine if they're not. Again, just watching your own experience now. And perhaps starting to touch into the inner wisdom that we all have. Again, not pushing yourself to find it, but just receiving, watching what occurs, watching the breath, experiencing this moment. And there may be little glimmers of peace, but there may be little sparks of joy, or there may be a very different kind of experience. We're just making a kind space for whatever's present. And as you allow yourself to continue settling, you might even find the pause at the top of the breath when the in-breath pauses and becomes an out-breath, all on its own. Of course, you can step in and shift it, but there's no need. You can just watch as the in-breath changes direction to become an out-breath. Or maybe you find the pause at the bottom of the breath. And just another place to observe the brilliance of being. Perhaps finding the stillness after the out-breath before the next breath begins to move into the body. And maybe there's a sense of letting go or resting in that stillness. And if a thought or a feeling or a sensation, if anything pulls your attention away, just know you're not doing it wrong. That's just how the mind works. When you notice it, you can gently bring your attention back, resting at the bottom of the out breath, observing as the breath changes direction to move back into the body. And if you wish, and if you find it helpful, you might imagine the face of someone you love dearly. It could be a pet, a person in the present or the past. And you might just imagine and remember the sense you have of being with that being. Allowing that sense of connection to warm your heart, to ease the breath, to soothe your being. And again, if you choose, you might even imagine what that being would say to you about your own inner brilliance. About your very best self. Just taking a moment to notice how it feels to be held in that kind space. Appreciated. Noticing your own deep intelligence, the wisdom of the body, of the mind, of the spirit, of community. And whenever you're ready, then, just allowing your attention to fall again to your feet. Perhaps pressing all of your toes into the floor now, feeling that sensation, maybe wiggling your toes. Perhaps wiggling your fingers, maybe slowly rubbing your hands on your legs or fabric nearby. And then maybe even just glancing around the space that you're in, just to kind of orient back to visual stimuli. And as you're ready, just bringing your attention back to the screen.